Shalom everybody from wherever in the world you are joining us for the Tuesday edition of the Israel Brief with me, Rolly Marks, in conjunction with these guys, Lay of the Land, where you guys join me every Monday to Thursday as we take a look at the top stories making headlines in Israel. Now it is day 403 since the attacks of the 7th of October. We know that Israel is fighting a multi-front war. In fact, we are fighting on what I believe are 9 different fronts, if you include the front of growing anti-Semitism around the world, as well as in the legal courts, the ICJ and possibly the ICC. But very importantly, we still have 101 hostages remaining captive in the terror tunnels of Gaza. We cannot forget about them. We know that they are slowly drifting from the consciousness of the world. And we ask all of you, our Israel Brief community, to make sure that the plight of the hostages remains at the forefront. I know many of you are joining us from countries as diverse as Ireland, Zimbabwe, Mauritius, the United States, across the United Kingdom, Australia, South Africa, and so many more. So without further ado, let's take a look at those top stories. And again, we go to Amsterdam, where last night riots broke out across the Nieuwe West, I hope I said that correctly, neighborhood of Amsterdam. Masked rioters set fire to the trams, they vandalized cars, they destroyed bicycles and other cars. Eyewitnesses recall loud bangs and cries of "Cancer Jews" and "Free Palestine" were heard. Now, I just want to highlight something. On university campuses around the world since the 7th of October, on streets around the world, we have heard this call to globalize the Intifada. And we are certainly seeing the ramifications of that on the streets, not just of Amsterdam, but in other cities around the world, calling for an uprising, calling to harm Jews. Now, you will notice in the language, they're not saying anything about Israel. They're not saying anything about two-state solution, one-state solution, land back. They are saying Jews. So anyone out there who still doesn't believe that anti-Zionism is anti-Semitism and anti-Semitism is anti-Zionism, you are seeing it play out in real time in the cities and the campuses around the world. Now, these riots follow the pogroms which took place in Amsterdam last Thursday night, following that soccer friendly between Maccabi Tel Aviv and Ajax Amsterdam. The Dutch police say that at least 5 people have been arrested following the horrific attacks of last Thursday night. Israel's National Security Council has cautioned Israelis not to travel to certain countries where the risks of being attacked are very, very high. In a report released, they say that often these attacks are disguised in the forms of protests and demonstrations and other events. And we know that what happened on Thursday night was premeditated and pre-planned. This has been confirmed by the Dutch authorities. We now go to Thailand, where Israel's National Security Council and the Mossad have not changed the cautions of travel to Thailand just yet. This follows intelligence reports from Thai authorities that warn of a possible terror attack in Thailand on Israelis that are in the country. Thailand is a very popular destination for Israelis, especially those that have finished their army service and are looking to do a little bit of traveling before they settle down to university or to work life. Now, they have urged, the Mossad and the National Security Council have urged Israelis to be very, very vigilant, to be very, very cautious. Local Thai police are engaging in intense operations following some credible information. And we will keep you updated if there is any kind of travel caution issued for Thailand as well. A drone hit a kindergarten in the Nesher suburb of Haifa earlier today. Thank goodness no children were injured. This is an absolute war crime, and of course we've heard nothing coming from the international community. The children were taken into the safe room by their teachers. What is interesting is that no siren went off, but thanks to the vigilance of the teachers who heard that there was a drone possibly in the area, maintained vigilance and moved the children very, very quickly into a safe area so that none of them were hurt. The IDF is investigating why no siren was activated. Meanwhile, yesterday, 7 Israelis were injured, one of them a toddler, as part of a massive barrage of rockets and drones fired by Hezbollah into the north of Israel, specifically the areas of Haifa and Kiryat Atta. While the air defense array intercepted most of these projectiles, some got through, damaging cars and damaging property and likely injuring the 7 civilians. Meanwhile, Israel's Foreign Minister Gideon Sa'ar has said that there is progress being made towards a ceasefire with Lebanon. However, Hezbollah deny knowing about this or agreeing to any of this. And finally, we go down to the south of Israel, where COGAT, this is the Coordination for Government Activity in the Territories, have announced that the Kisufim junction has been opened for the transfer of humanitarian aid. Now, COGAT is that unit inside the IDF that is responsible for humanitarian aid. They work closely with US officials, Egyptian officials, aid organizations, the United Nations, to make sure that that aid gets in. Now, what is interesting is this follows an accusation by international aid agencies that claim that there is not enough aid going in and that Israel has failed to meet the quota and the deadline. If you recall, the United States said they wanted 350 trucks per day entering the Gaza Strip. Now, there are several terrestrial crossings into the Gaza Strip, and those trucks have been going in. But what happens to those trucks on the other side? Why aren't aid agencies collecting them for distribution? We know that Hamas and other gangs are hijacking the aid. And I want to ask you out there, if any of you know of any other war where one of the parties is responsible for ensuring that humanitarian aid gets in as per a certain quota and is adequately distributed in any other war, please let me know, because I can't think of any. And yet there is this tremendous expectation on the state of Israel, who has said repeatedly, we will flood the Gaza Strip with aid. And I'm going to get to our audience question of the day because it pertains to this very, very issue. And it comes from Brigitte, I hope I pronounced your name correctly, Brigitte, who says that, you know, she is absolutely sick and there is a lot of food and water going into the Gaza Strip. We are being criticized for not sending in enough aid. We know our hostages are starving. We know our hostages are sick. We don't know how many of them are still alive. Why don't we know? Why can't we find them? And I wish I had an answer for you, Brigitte. I think a lot of people share your frustration that the expectations are being put on Israel, that we're seeing aid and help, food, water, medicine, fuel, units of blood, medical equipment, whatever is needed is going into the Gaza Strip, but no hostages are coming out. It is day 403. There are still 101 hostages. Where is the pressure on Hamas? And where is the Red Cross? Where are the international aid agencies making sure that our hostages have received medicine and that our hostages have been visited? We don't want to hear this excuse that they've got no connection to Hamas. Hamas is everywhere. Just ask UNRWA. It's absolutely untenable, and I share your frustration. I think many of our viewers share your frustration. Yes, we are proud to send in humanitarian aid because that is the ethics and the morals of our army, of our country, that we will take care as much as possible of innocent civilians, despite the ludicrous accusations of genocide, etc., coming from certain people in the international community. But I would ask those people making those accusations to find me another conflict or war around the world where humanitarian aid is being sent in, but also where humanitarian aid is being weaponized against one of the parties. So with that, I'll jump off my soapbox again. It's getting well used this week, and remind you to check out our website at www.layoftheland.online. Our Facebook community is at Lottle's site. Our YouTube channel is right here at the Israel Brief. Guys, if you like our content, please like, share, and subscribe. Let's help grow our community. Let's help get news from Israel out to as many people as possible, and we can only do that with your help. We are on X at Lay of the Land 5, on Instagram, on my page at Rolene_Marks, and on LinkedIn at Rolene Marks. Guys, I wish you a wonderful rest of your day. Stay safe. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. God bless you all. I will see you again tomorrow. Bye for now.